Welcome everybody to the Plan for Profit webinar. Jay Adkins and Kevin Mlynarek. They're both very successful Allstate agency owners with multiple locations, and my name is John Tate. I'm president of Agency Marketing Machine. So we're having this webinar because in the current environment, many agents are having a tough time being competitive and growing their books. So some are simply cutting costs as much as possible and just trying to wait it out. But both of you are going to be talking today about how to profit through growth, not cost cutting, and doing it in a way that can thrive in any environment. So I'm sure it's going to be some very good information for people to be able to hear and take advantage of themselves. We're also going to be intertwining some data that is very, very recent. In fact, it was just compiled this week, and we used a company called SurveyMonkey Audience. There is actually audience is a diverse group that's reflective of the U.S. population. They have millions of people that they can reach out to take surveys. Our specific target in this survey was people of the age of 22 to 55 in the U.S., and we received 1,000 responses, so that provides with a very nice statistical margin of error there. And other data points that we'll be able to include in the full survey, which everybody on this webinar will have access to, also includes household income, age, geographical region, and gender. So it's going to be a really interesting study, and you'll see some of the results during this webinar. All right, so we're going to be discussing what Jay and Kevin are doing within their agencies within 3 profit levers. The first is to sell more to existing customers, retain customers longer, and sell to new customers. That's really it. If we're going to grow, we're going to have to do it using these 3 levers. So let's talk about this first one, sell more to existing customers. So the first trigger, and each of these will have 3, is to understand a complete picture of the customer. Before we actually dive into this, we're going to look at an example here of what Heath and Kevin both utilize in order to get that complete picture of the customer. But Jay, can you tell us a little bit about what your process is?
It's our new business process when we go through and make sure that we have all the information, and actually even when we start with the quote, making sure that we get all the information. And one of the things that we say to our clients is we want to know more about you than just the type of vehicle that you drive or the type of house that you live in or how much it's worth. We want to know more about your family. So our quote sheet, and also an e-agent, we put as much information as possible inside of the agent. So we're always just gathering as much information as possible. And as you see on the Agency Sales Academy, there's a lot of questions on there so that you can become that trusted advisor and get to know more about your client, about all their assets and about everything that they might be at risk for, or what their liabilities that they might be carrying around in the trunk. So we do it through our quote, through our new business. Every time we do a review with them, we're trying to always update their information. And I always tell everyone that works with me is information is power. The more information you have about a client, the better off you're going to be and the better trust advisor you're going to be, because you're going to be able to advise properly.
True. Kevin, anything to add to that? Any tips?
Right. And really what I was kind of weighing the importance on is how much time that we spend on the phone with everyone that we talk to, even the first time. And our goal is always to spend 45 minutes of time on the phone. And a lot of people that start off and they say, well, I don't have a lot of time. And I think that's more of a defense mechanism. And once you start going and break that wall down, that barrier, and turn that wall into a bridge by saying, oh, I understand that. I'm sure you're very busy. Let's get started right away. You start to break that wall down. And then what we want to do is just find out more about them. So listening in the background, and maybe there's a baby or there's a dog or there's some other conversation or they're talking about kids that we can make a pivot off of and get off of insurance. When we talk about insurance, it's really not that exciting, not that fun. People definitely want to talk about themselves. And then if I can walk through the sales floor and hear people talking about everything but insurance, then I know that we're doing a great job of building a relationship. And that way they'll open up more about their life, about all of the lines that they may have that we could help them and be a much better trusted advisor and advise them properly on all of their insurance needs.
Right. You've got to get that information first. And so it's really important to make sure that you have those conversations. And with this survey result, you can see people are into a lot of different things, and they have lives, and there's a lot to talk about. And then also there's a lot that you can help them with. Something I found interesting here was the previous employer 401k is 25% of the respondents had one of those, which is something I know y'all could take advantage of. So the next trigger here is to consistently communicate and provide customers with the opportunity. So the opportunity to take advantage of all your have to offer. And here we found that 41% of respondents have 3 or more insurance or investment providers, and that's not including banks. So the opportunity is there. It's, how are you staying in front of them in order to do that? So can you tell us about how you consistently provide customers with those opportunities to take advantage of other services? Maybe Jay, if we start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's important to stay on top of mind and communicate in a non-salesy way. Like Kevin alluded to, like if I hear people selling, I stop them, because one, we should just be educating people and not selling to them, because people will buy based on education, not based on being sold to. And that's what every insurance agent does, is they try to sell. So we publish a monthly newsletter that gets emailed to all customers and our prospects. And the key is, it goes to all of our prospects, which, 85% of the people that we talk to say no. So we're constantly touching them every single month, and we're not doing it in a salesy way. Our magazine has very little insurance. Like you see, there's an ad about accident forgiveness, but that's it. Everything else that we talk about is things that are going on in the community, our community calls. So we're just constantly communicating with them what's going on, like a calendar of events. Also our concierge program, businesses that we're trying to highlight. So we're always trying to put out there in an entertaining way that we're different than every other insurance agency in the market.
Right. Kevin, how about you?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Jay. Customers, they need to see things multiple times. So all different ways. So whether it's through the newsletter, or it's through email drip, or through phone calls, calling and following up. And, on our agency website, in nearly every page, we list all of the different policy types that we carry. And then we drive them there with every chance we can with the links and the community magazine and social media. And so it's just constantly dripping on them. I think a lot of people think Allstate, home, and auto. And that's the only thing, that's as far as they get. And so it is up to us, in order to break down that barrier, let them know as a trusted advisor that we are your professional risk advisor, and that it's our job to make sure that we care for you in all areas, and not just, through your home and auto. And that, but it's our job. We have to keep getting that message out there. Sales, they might have heard it the first time as we sign up, but yet, we have to continually talk to them about that.
And we have a service that schedules annual reviews for us, which has been a big thing, and it's worked really well. But it also gives us the opportunity to start their new year, to send emails about getting their 2016 finances started right with their comprehensive financial review. And we just, I don't know if people have heard of Agency Zoom, but they have an ALR thing and we just talked to the owner of the company today about setting up. They set out calendar appointments, but we asked, can we set out a calendar appointment for an annual review every year for the financial? And we're talking about doing that as well on the property and casualty side. So those reviews are important, because it's a good time to communicate with your client about what they should be thinking about.
Right. And some customers might not realize what you can do, but others, the timing just might not be right. And of course, life changes. So constantly reminding them of what you do, giving them the opportunities is definitely important. All right, so the next trigger here to sell more to existing customers is to build a relationship and trust with purpose. So it takes time, of course, to build trust and to develop that relationship, to allowing customers to feel that they can trust you to handle the other financial aspects of their lives. So what are some of the other things you do, Kevin, to make this happen?
You know, people definitely respond different to forms of communication. So we make sure that we're not only using our phone, but we're using email and text and a variety of social media to ensure that we build those relationships. So we also do make sure that our customers see us as trusted advisors, and the social proof is important. So being in the news and being out there within our community builds so much credibility and trust for us. And, you know, I think one of the big things is really our community cause. And I have to give hats off to Jay, because I have to say that, embarrassingly enough, prior to meeting Jay a couple years ago, we did absolutely zero community cause events, nothing. And it wasn't because we thought about it and we didn't do it. I don't know if it was just so focused on the business and all that took space in our brain to do, but we didn't think about it. And Jay really opened up my eyes to, you know, doing more community causes. So last year we did 4 events total, but each month we raised money for all different kinds of charities, whether it's for the Donnie Urban Cancer Fund, you know, Let Them Play, the Ronald McDonald House, Grace Centers of Hope, where we went out and made a meal for over 100 people in where they just don't have the means to do it themselves. We built a future for a homeless family. They had nothing in their home. We raised $2,500, and wow. We went in and literally built bunk beds, and we put everything together in the home, working with Humble Design and just providing for those in need that need it. So we recognize that we've got something to give, and we're not on this earth just for ourselves, but we need to give back. And when people recognize that and they realize that you're not just there to take their money and make money, and you make a lot more when you raise their rates, that you're giving back to the community that you're in, it makes such a difference. And it really resonates with people. And it again, that helps to once again build that bridge and breaking down that wall and building a bridge with our clients, and even inviting them to join in on our cause with us. So it's been super powerful, and I'm certainly thankful for Jay for getting me involved in that. Our team is so excited about it. You know, next year we're already planning our events, our days, who's in charge of it, who's going to be, you know, the head lead on it. So we've already done that in our planning calendar for next year.
That's great. You got some nice news coverage there. You're on Fox News. That was a great segment.
We did. We were on TV, you know, one of our Fox News, local Detroit, and it was awesome. You know, it was right on. You go to the Humble Design, humbledesign.org, and look under events, and it says Mlynarek Insurance, and we got a great video that they did for us. I didn't know they were planning on even doing, so it was fun.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I'll send you a check after this, Kevin.
Okay.
That'd be awesome. I know I've said that before and I haven't, but this time I promise I will. I promise.
All right.
Jay, anything you want to add about the?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just that relationships are a two-way street. I mean, we want customers to know all of our team personally. I mean, our team is really the ones that run our business. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we can't, you know, unlike a doctor that has to see every patient, we can duplicate ourselves, and if we hire the right people, they can meet with clients and become trusted advisors. So, you know, we include them in characters which they have fun with. Each team member we do a character on, and we put them in our magazine, our website bios, our social media posts. You know, when we hire somebody new, we let everybody know about it. And then one of the things that we implemented, we did birthday calls, and I got to be honest, the first time that I heard about it, I thought it was a little cheesy.
Yeah, me too.
But then I actually got a birthday call, and because I'm a client of my agency, and I really liked it. And then my friends started calling me like, dude, that was awesome that your office called and wished me happy birthday. Like, that was pretty cool that you did that. And And I've gotten all positive response, not one single negative response. So that's another thing that we do. But the key to all this is if you want to be trusted advisors, and we're a trusted advisor in a different light, and I see it this way. I'm a trusted advisor to my team. Like, I've got to teach them and give them the right tools. But the first thing I have to do is I got to hire the right type of person. I think that's what we all lack in. And not to just give it right back to Kevin, but I would tell you, he's changed my business with Ideal Traits, because, you know, before I'd sit in front of somebody and it was like going to Vegas and playing craps. I didn't know if they were going to be good or bad. And with the process that Kevin's taught me through Ideal Traits, you know, I don't have to play guessing games. I don't even spend time interviewing people if they don't fall in the 4 classes that I would hire anyways. So the key to becoming a trusted advisor overall in your business is to hire trusted advisors and make sure that they understand how important being a trusted advisor is. But you got to treat them like a trusted advisor. They have to be in front of your agency. They have to be a face of your agency, and they have to feel like they're a face of your agency. So that's why we feature them in our social media, and we make them such a big part of our agency.
Great. All right, so let's look at the next trigger here. And this is actually based in the lever to retain customers longer. One thing you need to do is consistently prove that your service is no commodity, because if you're thought of as a commodity service or product, that's the opposite of how you want to be viewed as a trusted advisor. And we did get some survey results regarding this, and 52% of respondents would search for a new auto insurance agency if their monthly payment increased $30 or less.
That's so true.
52% think, obviously, of their agency as a commodity. But so the good news is 20% wouldn't search for even a $70 monthly payment increase. And by far the 2 primary reasons that they gave for not searching for a new auto insurance agency, number 1 was relationship with current agency or company, and number 2 is trust in the agency or company. So those are things that we've got to develop to get out of that commodity game. So how do we do things differently? How do we appear to be different? How do we make it so that people don't think of us as a commodity? And Kevin?
You know, it's so true. And I remember even just a couple of years ago, just talking to an agent and just hearing him from his perspective and kind of drowning in his sorrows, going, you know, hey, we're just a commodity. And if someone's less, I mean, they're going to switch. And I stopped him in his track and said, you know, I don't believe that. I don't think that that's true, that we're not a commodity, that it's up to us to really to make the difference in knowing that if we build that relationship, then these people, they will stay. They will stay. But we have to prove our value. And when the value exceeds the price, that's when people stay. That's when people buy. That's when people stay, is they see that. And so to start with, we know that we have to be consistent. People forget. So don't start something now and 6 months later stop. And what a great opportunity right now being January. And, you know, just had a webinar on, you know, setting goals and how important these are, and that what's got to be different is there's something we have to change. We have to have habits formed. And so we can't stop. We have to follow this all the way through. So we try to show high quality in everything we do, from our website to our magazine, social media, and even our downloadable app from iTunes, Apple Store, and Google Play. So people are like, wow, you got your own app? It's like, well, yeah. I mean, you're not really just dealing with Joe, insurance agent down the street, you know, with one gal, Sally, and Joe's out golfing, and they've got 300 accounts. It's like, no, like, we're the real deal. We're a lot different, and it shows that way. And so even if I just had one agency with 500 or 1,000 policies, with the tools that we have through AMM, it allows me to look a lot bigger than maybe even I am. So they're extremely impressed with the fact that we have our own app, and it just sets us apart. So I think that's a good way to let them know that we're not just a commodity. And it doesn't say Allstate app, because they get that. You know, this is like our agency. It's branded to us, you know, even with our own personalized logo. So all that stuff really goes back to we're different than the person down the street, the different agency down the street.
Yeah, and Kevin, you even hand out a flyer which lists all the reasons why your agency is different. And I know you need that because you've got to have the spouse be convinced after you've already convinced the person in your office, right?
Absolutely. You know, that is such a great tool that we can send out, you know, as a PDF, or if they're here, or even if we're out marketing ourselves to any type of mortgage relationships, which are for sure the number one key for our agency, how we get the majority of our business. And we walk in with that sell sheet right there, but then on top of that, we give everybody a copy of, you know, our hometown magazine. And so they realize that, because the other guy just came in, the AAA guy came in with a bag of donuts, and I'm coming in with, this is why you should do business with our agency and refer, because we're going to take care of them and we're going to make you look even better by referring such a professional agency.
Yeah, huge differentiator. And another trigger to retain customers longer is to provide high value and appreciation. What kind of things, Jay, are you doing to provide value and appreciation to your customers now?
Well, I mean, I think we should all be trusted advisors in all areas. So I want to be the go-to guy or gal in my agency. And so we implemented a concierge program. And, you know, this idea actually, you know, and it's funny, right before this call, I was out with an agency person showing them how to approach businesses. And I didn't really do this in 2015 with everyone. And this year I started again because it was something that fed my business and really built my business from scratch. I mean, I went from 0 to 3 million in 2 years just through this program. And I was just relentless in going out and building this community. And we went into this real estate office today, and this lady just had a deer in headlights, and she just kept asking me. She asked me 10 times, what's the catch? What's the catch? What's the catch? And I was like, there's no catch. It's free. This is something I want to provide to my clients. So back 15 years ago, I went out and went to a friend where she was a concierge in a hotel, and I had no idea what a concierge was. And once I figured it out, I was like, man, this is something I can offer in my business, and we sell an intangible product. So I want to offer more than just what every other insurance agent offers. I want to be able to help them with other needs that they have in the area. So when they move here, they have a doctor, a lawyer, doggy daycare, day spa, mortgage broker, real estate agent, whoever it is, I wanted to offer this. So I created this concierge program, and it provides local services to customers. So they don't have to go online and search through Yelp, because we had a personal recommendation from someone. So, and then we show appreciation with drawings throughout the year, and we make it really nice things. So AMM runs drawings for the agency, and these have been so successful. We had a Coochie tote and a Tag Heuer, and then we had Apple Watches last time, and the drawings have received thousands of entries from our customers interested, but it's also been a great source of leads and cross-selling recommendations. So between the concierge and these drawings that we've done, we have spent very little in internet leads this year, because this is generating a lot of business. So if you don't have a concierge and you're not approaching businesses and trying to, I mean, social media is such a beautiful thing. I mean, it doesn't cost any money. Like, you know, the real estate agent that we found, we went out and shared her listing today, and she was like, I can't believe you shared your listings with like 3,000 of your friends. I was like, no. I have 18 employees that shared it with all of their friends. And she was like, wow, that is amazing. Like, I can't, she's like, you know, and the conversation started off that she was working with a farmer's agent for the last 10 years. And I asked her, I said, so how much business does he send you? And she was like, well, no, I mean, I refer him business. Like, how is he going to refer me business? And I was like, well, this is how. And we're going to send you business. So, and that's the key with the concierge, is you have to send business. If you don't send business to them, it's going to take a lot longer to build that relationship. But once you send one piece of business, they're going to send you business for life.
Right. So another trigger is to consistently prove that you care about the community. Now, most agents, it seems like they do say they care about the communities they serve, and I'm sure they do care, but fewer do things on a consistent basis to actually serve that community, and then extremely few do so in a way that others know about it or even remember it. So Kevin, we touched on it briefly, but what are some of the things you're doing now?
Yeah, I think, again, going back to consistency, and, we've implemented an ongoing program where we help others in our community. So we get the word out about the cause and further help the nonprofit that really desperately needs the promotion and the PR. Customers can readily see on our website all our past causes, so it's the proof that's always there. And we send people, right to the link, and we show them when they're not there, they're not in front of us. And on our desks, it's on every person's desk. And John, as you know, I'm always buying 50 copies, and so we get one on every desk, and then we also use them as our promotional material when we're out either selling it. We do something a little bit different, and so far we've had very good results with our community cause, where we let the mortgage broker know, and then if they want to be in our ad, then we'll charge them $50 or $100, but that all goes as 100% donation to the community cause. So it's been a great way to see that they're spending the money, they're getting their tax deduction, they're supporting community cause, and not only that, they realize that we're not taking a dime of it, we really just want to use them and then also to send them business. So it's been great. It's really helped us, again, separating ourselves. And when you separate yourself, it adds more value to who we are, which in turn allows us to capture more clients. And
none of the money actually goes through the agency. Typically, it's a crowdsourced page like this. You can see where people can literally donate from around the world, and that's then they actually send the money directly to either the nonprofit or the child or the family that might be the recipient there. Jay, what are some of the things? This is, I know, one of the primary activities that you focus on every month, but can you tell us a little bit about what y'all are doing?
Like Kevin talked about earlier, he did 4, being that we're in 3 states, every month, I have a point person in my office that is scheduling a volunteer event that we go out for 2 hours at the end of the day, and I usually take them to get something to eat afterwards. But we've met so many good people that run these organizations and that are so thankful. And what we do also is we invite our customers to come join us, because a lot of people want to volunteer. They just don't know how to get started, or they don't know where to go, or they don't take that step. But when you make it easy for them, they love it. And I would tell you, the biggest thing that it's done for us is it's made my staff closer to me, because they see me much different than just this business guy that's driving to get these results. And we're out giving back, and we shut the office down for 2 hours, which we're still in compliance with Allstate. We forward and let the service center take care of it. But it's like a field trip for them. But they see that I'm not this greedy business owner that only cares about business, that I care about people in the community. And also, we share it on Facebook, we share it on our website, because not to say look at me, but to bring awareness to the community cause or to the organization that we're working with. And then on the community cause, I would tell you that's changed my life. Like he showed this a picture of Hal Brown, which is a guy that's still battling cancer. And when I met this little kid, all of my problems in my life went away, because he's 11 years old and he's been battling cancer for 2 years, and he's got the best attitude on the planet. And, we bought him a dog, and you would have thought that I bought him a Ferrari. It was the best gift that he could have ever gotten. And it's just changed my perspective on life. And we get caught up in our day-to-day, and, we have our family, we have our friends, and we don't really live outside of that. But what this has really brought to me is there's a lot of people that need our help. And once our clients are aware of all the people that need help, so many people want to help. They just don't know where to start. And what I love about how we raise money is it goes directly to them. There's not a foundation that gets 90% of it and 10% goes to the cause. It goes 100% to them. And they're so grateful that we've helped them and brought awareness to their problems. So that's, I need to stop, because I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours, because I love, this is what I wish I could do full time now. But it really makes a difference in the agency with the staff and with your clients. They just see you differently.
And you're impacting a lot of people's lives. So it's an outstanding thing to do. So
It is something that we get notoriety from doing it, and it's not the reason we do it. It's just because it makes you feel so much better knowing that you're helping others, within the community, and you see their faces when, this home that we helped out with, it's like 1,000 square feet, and there's 5 kids, and so we did 2 bunk beds. So one of the kids was a mattress on the floor, but that's all that would fit. But he was so happy because it had Star Wars on it, and he had a yellow pillow, his favorite color. Just like those little things, how important they are to them, because before they had nothing. A mattress on the floor is way better than everyone just sleeping on the floor. It's crazy the amount that we can impact others and the opportunities that are out there.
Very true. All right, so this last profit lever, the third profit lever, sell to new customers. And one of those triggers is to be highly visible. What are some of the ways your agencies get to be highly visible and to target the right customer? Maybe, Jay, what are some of those things you think?
I have everyone in the agency involved in Facebook, and liking people's posts and getting our posts liked. But we've set up a center of influence where people have their own center of influence folder where they're going through their news feed and liking, and just people like their stuff to be liked. So that's one of the things that we're really driving towards right now, is setting up those center of influence and building those relationships with those people that are those centers of influence, but also just sharing as much as possible and letting people know what we're doing in the community.
Yeah, and we saw with Kevin, with the PR effort and being on the local news, somebody might have seen that. Somebody might have run across the press release or had the TV on at that time. And it's being in front of people 7, 8, 9, 10 times where things might then begin to click. Kevin, you mentioned the magazines you hand out to new customers when they come in and business partners.
Absolutely. At every time they're always on everybody's desk. And so they're naturally, when an agent is looking at the computer, kind of working through the details, their eyes are just scanning the desk, and they'll always land their eyes on the Hometown magazine. And if they don't already open it up and look through it, then we certainly encourage, like, hey, while I'm getting this, taken care of and printing out your ID card, hey, take a look at that. Some of the things that we have in our agency. There's a great recipe there. Take a look at this, and point out our community cause, let them know what we do, and just constantly refer back to that. And it really, separates ourselves, and it gets our clients more involved in our community causes. So it's been great.
And somebody might come across a magazine that's sitting in their doctor's office, and it's got your agency all over it. And it is important to have your own brand, your own identity, right? You can't just be thrown into the mix of all other agents or the things you're doing to be different. You won't get the credit for that.
Absolutely. Yeah. When we're looking for, concierge program partners, we're always leaving a magazine behind for them so that they can, even display it out in their waiting room after they review it. So it's been great. It's powerful. It's different. You wouldn't think of that. You see such a professional image magazine, just really referring back to a local insurance agency.
Right. Okay, so selling to new customers, one of those triggers is get recommended to others by customers. And when we talk about getting recommended, it's synonymous with getting referred. We just changed language after testing last year and got a lot better results using the word recommendation. So what we find is that agents typically are frustrated with the low number of recommendations they get on any given month and think that the current method is broken, and it very well might be. But these types of leads are so great, the recommendations. They close maybe 50 to 70%. What are you doing differently to get more recommendations? Jay, I'll start with you.
I mean, recommendations not only close at a higher rate, but take less time during the sales process than other lead sources, and they retain a lot longer. So, and what we create the cause and lead into talking about rewards program, and have found that many people are willing to recommend. Sorry, my thing's cutting out.
Okay, you good?
Yeah. Recommend someone, then there's a $10 gift card option. So in addition, the last promotion, like we talked about before, that we did in December, it generated 259 customer recommendations. And the other thing that we do is just do role playing constantly in the agency on how to effectively ask for recommendations. I mean, the biggest reason we don't get recommendations in our business is because we don't ask. That's the number one reason. So just getting them to role play and practice is the best way to get recommendations. And, offering a $10 gift card, offering a drawing, or really what we push the most is the community calls, because that's what we want to raise money for and make a difference in the community.
Yeah, so having that option where people will donate, will have a donation made in their name towards that community cause that you just would have told them about, that's a reason for people to take action and actually provide that recommendation. And it's just a much easier way for the staff to talk about it. There was this survey result, and this blew me away. It was higher than I thought. But the question: how likely are you to recommend a service to a friend or family member, assuming you are provided good service? Just good service, not great, just good. And this is a service in general. That's 92% of the respondents are likely to do so. So that's a huge number, and that just means they need to be asked, and that means that you have to provide your staff with a different way of asking, and through the community cause can provide that different method.
John, I want to apologize. I'm doing a renovation in my office, and we've had power surges all day, so I think that's what happened earlier, and my computer keeps blanking, and so I was just kind of thrown off a little bit. So sorry about that.
No problem. And and Jay, you mentioned that last promo with the Apple Watch. That's a customer appreciation promotion, but it did end up getting 259 recommendations in that one. I guess it was about a 3-week period that you ran this.
It was huge. We've closed the year really well because of that. Thank you.
Sure. So the third trigger to sell to new customers is get recommended to others by businesses. And we talked about this, Jay, with the concierge program. And that was in reference to providing that value to your customers, because you're giving them a place where they can see other businesses that have been recommended. But this was a huge way for you to be able to create brand new relationships with other businesses. Some of you might not ever even have had any relationship with before, because you're providing them with this great promotion. And in that magazine, you're advertising them. So 3 of those businesses you're actually advertising in your community magazine. Anything else you want to add about that concierge program?
Well, I talked about it earlier. I mean, the concierge program, we're able to provide any business. We approach value, and we ask for nothing in return. And like I said, the lady today, just like, there's a catch. There's something to this. Right. Like when I present this to my broker in charge, he's not going to believe this. Like, no one's ever walked in here and said this. I'm like, I promise you, like, call our other people on our website, look at our concierge tab, and ask them if there's a catch. Because it's too good to be true for these businesses, because nobody ever approaches them. So building that rapport with them happens so fast, because they're like, why are you doing this? So, and some of the value we provide is dedicated landing page on our website, free ads in our magazine, shout outs on social media. Because of the law of reciprocation, they'll provide you more recommendations than ever. And it's not about what's in it for you, it's what's in it for them. And that's what I told my agent today. I was like, did you notice the whole 10 minutes that we were in there talking to them, I never asked them for a recommendation, but I will. In 90 days, once I have the rapport with them, I'm going to ask the broker in charge if I can look at his insurance, but I'm not going to do it initially. And I'm not going to ask him to send me business. What I am going to do is focus on sending him business, because as soon as I send him a referral, a recommendation, he is going to then be like, wow, this is great. We've never had an insurance agent send us business before. This is amazing. And most people are going to reciprocate that and want to send business back to you.
Yeah, that works. We have a question that came in. If you work with several realtors, loan officers, how do you choose who to feature on the concierge pages, and do you rotate the names? And you have over like 300 businesses on your concierge.
Yeah, and that's the catch, and that's what I told her the catch was. We can't just feature one. Now, we'll feature one in our magazine every month, but on our website we might have several, because we can't just only refer one. And I tell them it's because Allstate doesn't allow us to refer one business, because there's a liability there. But we're not charging you any money. It's free. And you're probably going to get the business because you're probably better than all the other anyways. But, the tighter our relationship is, hence you send me referrals, I send you referrals, I'm obviously going to point to you and send them to you and tell them that you're great. Now, I don't say that, but in so many words, I say that to them and let them know that, we'll have a relationship, and I'm sure you're going to be better than everybody else out there, and you're going to get most of the business. But also, I want them to compete for the business, because I want my customer, if they're going to get a mortgage, I want them to shop the 3 mortgage people that I work with, because that way, when they call that person, they know that they're going to call 2 other people, and hopefully they give them the best deal. So that's how I handle that. And again, it's free. It's free marketing. It's free press. We're not charging them anything to be on our website. So it's not like they're paying for a spot on our website. So that's the only catch that I tell them.
I definitely would say, by far our biggest lead source is other businesses. Mainly number one would certainly be mortgage brokers, and followed up by real estate professionals. We do some with car dealerships, are all excellent. But anytime someone is sending you someone, they take the time to dial the phone number and call us specifically. There's a lot of premeditation going on there, and really all they're doing is waiting, trying to figure out if there's any way not to do business with you. So they already plan on signing up and doing business with you. It's just if something external happens, something crazy, you're super high, but other than that, they're planning on doing business with you. So it's really been a great fit, with the concierge program with our agency. So it's been a nice enhancement for sure.
Kevin, because last I heard, and I don't know if things have changed, but you don't buy any leads whatsoever, do you?
I buy very few, and I would say within 3 agencies, I spend less than $1,000. It's probably around $500.
Oh, yeah.
It really just helps if we have somebody new to help supplement a little bit to make sure that they're constantly on the phone. But yes, we've spending as much as $2,000 to $3,000 a month and scaled all the way back. So it allows us all this extra money, to be put into something else in another area, and to get my name out there, and to get it out there socially, and to get it out there in a magazine. And so overall, my whole marketing budget has been reduced, even though, by adding and using AMM, it's been a great resource for us.
Great. So we've covered all of the profit levers and profit triggers. I will send this out if people would like through an email, and you'll also get the survey results. And just wanted to cover this. Jay and Kevin are actually both founders. There's 2 other gentlemen of the Agency Sales Academy. It's a great group. They've got ongoing coaching. There's mastermind, and I've been to 2 of their events in the past. They're outstanding. The next one is in February. Guys, there are still seats available for that?
Yes. There are still seats, but it's filling up fast. We just did a webinar yesterday, and I actually have to check with Joseph and see what we have left, but it's definitely filling fast. So
you're having one of the Shark Tank guys there?
Yeah, Kevin Harrington is going to speak, and he's got a great presentation that just very related to the insurance industry and how we can learn from his mistakes.
Great. And yeah, Jay, you covered ideal traits one of Kevin's companies.
If you're not using Ideal Traits, I will tell you that as inexpensive, I used to use Caliper, and it was $250 a test, and I used to spend that money but I still didn't feel like I hired great people. And Ideal Traits and the marketing blueprint, I think, was $349 for unlimited tests. And I just don't know why everyone doesn't use this when they're, even if you're not hiring right now, just to be able to have something that backs up your decision. Kevin, you definitely have created something, and I appreciate it. But if you're not using Ideal Traits, you should go and get it right this second, because it is a great thing to help you hire and take the guessing out of it.
And all the activities that we covered can be done on your own. You can hire people internally to do all of these things for you. We happen to have an all-in-one marketing program with an agency marketing machine that we provide to both Jay, who's a co-founder, and Kevin, and a lot of the other Allstate agencies out there. So if you'd like to see if it's a fit for your agency, you can go to our website and watch a quick overview video and schedule a consultation with us, and we can figure out whether it's something that might be for you. And then we also need to know where you're located, because there is exclusivity and need to see if your area is still open. So Jay and Kevin, anything else?
I think that what really impressed is even the level of people that you have there, John, is just amazing. They call up and they stay in contact. They keep us on track and do the monthly meeting with us and to make sure that we're doing that. So really, it's almost another asset to my business that they are, talking with my staff on a regular basis and promoting and talking about getting referrals and everything. And I like that. You said it really well. That's all wrapped up into one. So instead of just getting someone to do each one of these niches, I think you'll really be blown away, and you'd be doing yourself a disservice not to at least find out. It's like you don't know what you don't know. If you find out and listen through a presentation, you'd be surprised at how much they actually put into it. So you guys do a great job. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. No, thanks, Kevin.